In this video we're going to make some little miniature rainbow cakes. Now before we make the cakes we're actually going to make some toppers for them so that they've got time to be setting while the cakes are baking. So I've just dyed some fondant in a pastel pink colour, and I've also got some in a nice lavender pale purple colour, but you can have whatever colours you want. So I've just got a heart shaped cutter and we're just going to cut out a few little heart shapes. So we're going to roll it out. It's not too thin, it's still got a little bit of thickness to it, but thin enough for the cutter. So I'm just going to cut out a few hearts now. And we're just going to do exactly the same with the purple. So I've just got some white fondant now that I'm going to roll out. Now, if you want your hearts just as hearts to stick on the top and you can leave them as they are, that's fine. But I'm just going to add a little bit to mine. So I've just got a frilled edged cookie cutter. So we're going to cut out a little circle. Just push that out. And using a little piping nozzle, so I've got number 3 here. You can go bigger or smaller, that's fine. I've just been using it so it is blocked with icing at the moment. I'm just going to push it into the edge of each bit now. See if I can zoom in so you can see it any better. Hopefully it won't lose focus too much. So you're just going to pop it in and it should bring out, leaving a little hole. And I'm going to do that all the way around. And what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of water in the centre, and then I'm just going to press my heart into the centre like that. And I'll do the same now for the rest of them, and then what we're going to do is put some little polka dots on our hearts. So what I'm going to do now is add some little white polka dots. Now you can either stick tiny little polka dots on using fondant, or if you want you can paint them on. So I'm going to go with painting them on just because it might be a little bit quicker for me. But you will then have to make sure that the paint has dried, or the food colouring has dried, before we stick them onto anything. So I'm going to use my extra white sugar flare. You can also get the powdered colours, and you can just add a bit of water or vodka to them. So I've just got a small brush and I'm just going to pop my little polka dots on. So they're not perfectly round when I'm painting them on. So I'll repeat that on all of them, and then I'm going to let them dry. So what I've got now is just some ordinary Victoria sponge cake mix. Now I'm going to put up the ingredients for this on the screen now for you, and also I'll put them in the description below the video so that you've got them along with some basic instructions of how to cook the cake when it's done. And what we're going to do is divide it now into 6 different portions. So we'll divide it equally, and what we're going to do is dye each portion a colour. So I'll just take out one of my portions. Okay, so I've just got 1 portion's worth here. Now I'm going to dye my first one pink, and I'm going to do them rainbow colours, but I'm going to try and keep them a bit more pastel-y if I can. So I've just got some sugar flare food colours, and I'm just going to try and start by putting them on the edge of my bowl, and then I'll try and mix them in. So I'll just get out of my spoon and I'll mix that in. So if it's not enough, just add a little bit more. If you want a darker colour, add a darker colour to it. So that's my first one done. I'm going to now do the same with an orange one, a yellow one, green one, a blue one, and a purple one. So what you want to do is fill your baking trays. Now I've got 1 baking tin that's divided into 4 so that I can try and put all 4 in one go, but you can put them in separate tins. Now I've only put them about 1 centimetre thick on each one, and I'm going to put them in the oven. Now I don't think they'll take very long, so what I'll do is I'll put them in and then I'll let you know how long they've taken. I've taken these cakes out of the oven. My other colours are in there at the moment cooking. Now these took 16 minutes on 150 on my oven, and what I'll do is I'll write that on the screen so that you know. timings and temperatures, but bear in mind that everybody's oven does cook at different temperatures, so you might have to fiddle with it slightly to make sure it's right for your oven. I'm going to let these cool now, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to cut the tops off to level them so that they're all the same height. So my cakes are cooled, and I've just sliced a really thin bit off the top of them. And what I'm going to do now is, using my little cutter, I'm just going to cut circles out of each of them. So I'll start from the top. Now they'll be quite thin, so you can see there that they are nice and thin. But if we make them really thick, we'll end up with a really tall cake. So we'll keep cutting, and what I'm going to do is start with a pink. I'm going to layer them up, but what I'm going to go do is get my buttercream. So I've just made some simple buttercream. So you'll see they end up really quite tall, and we've only put 4 colours on there, and we have got 6 to actually get on. So it might be that rather than doing them as slim as that, so that they don't look ultra tall, you might want to go for a slightly bigger size. So just whichever you think looks best. So we'll have a go with a slightly larger size and see what that one looks like. Hopefully this one hasn't stuck. Yep, so they look a little bit better when you get slightly wider. And I've still to get the other colours out the oven, so I'll go get them, and then I'll get my buttercream ready. And then we'll start putting them together. And what you can do is, you'll notice obviously we've got quite a bit of cake left after we're cutting the circles from it. If you keep this cake, and you can use the offcuts to make cake pops from. Now I do have quite a few cake pop videos, so I'll put a link to the folder that all the cake pop videos are in, and you can have a go with your offcuts. So we've now got all our rainbow colours together, and I'll get the buttercream ready. So we're going to take our first disc, and we got a bit of buttercream in a piping bag, and I've got the Gem 2D nozzle, so I'm just going to pipe a little bit on, and I'm just going to spread that just a little bit over that one, and then we'll stick our next colour on. And we're going to continue like that all the way up, sticking them together. So we'll stick our green one on now. So we've got up to our top one, so we've got our pink one on there. And what we're going to do is just squeeze a nice big bit of buttercream on the top. And we're going to use one of our little toppers from earlier, and I'm just going to push it into the top. Sorry, I realise it's a little bit more difficult for you to see. So what I'll do is I'll put a picture of that up finished for you. Thank you for watching.
If you liked this video and would like to see more, please click on the images of the other videos suggested. Also, please do subscribe to my channel using the button at the bottom right hand corner of the screen. You can also visit my cake website and my Facebook page to see more cakes and ideas.